And here we go. It is featherweight time between Matt Sayles and George Hickman. Two Americans going head-to-head. You're taking a look at Hickman, the big-time wrestling guru, taking on this young and up-and-coming undefeated prodigy in Matt Sayles, all under the bright lights of the Nohan Nafal Stadium here in Beirut, Lebanon. Round one is underway, and Matt Sayles going for a takedown right out of the gate, trying to take the wrestling teacher off of his feet. May not be the best way to go about things. Given the pedigree of George Hickman, why you go into his wheelhouse? Use that striking. Matt Sayles has serious striking. Sayles is in the white, red, and black trunks, and it'll be in the white with the red trim, Mr. George Hickman. Sayles in the tights, and Hickman in the Muay Thai shorts. Matt Sayles, no surprise, 22 years old. He's going to come out here very fiery, going right after it. Initially trying to take Hickman off of his feet. And, you know, one thing you got to say about George Hickman is he's in there every day at Tiger Muay Thai. You know, one of the best camps in the world. People make that pilgrimage down to Thailand to work with the best, and that right hand landed. But a nice recovery by Hickman as he grabs a hold of the leg and is going to turn it into a takedown. And he's now going to possibly take the back. Oh, my goodness, what a turn of events here as George Hickman jumps on the back of Matt Sayles, and how quickly things can change. It looked like Matt Sayles was going in for the kill. He landed a big straight right. Tried to swarm in, but Hickman, the wily veteran, jumps right in there and takes the back. Not a good spot for Matt Sayles. Alliance MMA, where Matt Sayles comes from, also one of the better camps in the world today, located in California. And now just trying to fight off that choke is Matt Sayles, and George Hickman is relentless with it. Mark Goddard watching very closely. If there's not any sort of action, you better believe he'll stand up right now. It is a fight for position. It looks like he has that locked in. It looks like that is locked in. Can Matt Sayles somehow survive that? I don't know if it's underneath the chin. I don't know what it is. He tries to reset, George Hickman does, as he is in a full-on body triangle. Matt Sayles is going to have to really dig deep. Right now it's just across the face, trying to squeeze his head off like a dandelion. But Matt Sayles hanging on somehow, some way. Most men under that sort of pressure would be caving in, but there's a reason why that young man is undefeated. And he somehow gets out of that choke, but he is not going to get Hickman off him that easily. That body triangle still locked in, and now it's the ground and pound. George Hickman trying to pound him into submission one after another, and the fans are loving it. Straight brutality. Mark Goddard asking if Sayles wants to continue. Now he moves to the elbows. Tenacious beatdown here by George Hickman, proving that age is nothing but a number. What a battle here. Matt Sayles looked to be the more fiery of the two, but he tried to go into the wheelhouse of George Hickman. He tried to wrestle with him, and right now he is getting a clinic, an absolute clinic by the man that runs the wrestling program at Tiger Muay Thai. Now, if he could pull those legs out and lock in that head and arm choke, good chance he could finish this. But Matt Sayles doing the smart thing and rolling over. But now he's going to give up his back once again. Just trying to stay moving is Matt Sayles right now. Possibly trying to wait out the clock, as this has been a very, very long 4 minutes in the life of Matt Sayles. Phoenix FC giving us one heck of a card tonight, as this is your co-main event of our MMA segment of the show. Remember, in the MMA main event, it'll be Davi Ramos taking on Nicholas Piedmont. That's going to be a huge matchup. That'll be your MMA main event. And still to come, we have Bukau in the main event, Muay Thai action. The whole world talking about Phoenix FC and talking about landing Bukau, one of the biggest free agents in the world today. Very hard to get him on a card, and they were able to do that. And that is the end of round number 1. And I'll tell you this, Matt Sayles, in a world of hurt, doesn't look too worse for wear, but George Hickman, in typical George Hickman fashion, just putting the grind to him. Round 1 is up, and now Matt Sayles gets to reset, talk to his corner. Very, very capable coaches, and try to go at this a different way. Maybe not try to take down a guy that's an absolute wrestling mastermind in George Hickman. You don't qualify for the Olympics multiple times without having those sort of skills. The guy is a killer. Matt Sayles has to go to the drawing board and really utilize what he's good at, and that is striking. He has a ton of KOs and TKOs to his record. Those 5 wins, 4 of those are KOs and TKOs. If he can stay on his feet, if he can circle, he's playing to the crowd right now, but if he can circle and use his striking, I think that there's a big hole in the game of George Hickman, and that's what it would be. But if you want to wrestle with him, that's going to be a problem. And I say that for a reason. When you take a look at the losses that he did have, you know, he has a few of those where he's been beat down a little bit. He has that KO loss back in 2012 to Stephen Upchurch. I mean, he has taken a few of those. So if there's a hole in his game, it's going to be the striking. And that's what Matt Sayles needs to capitalize on. Nice move, getting out of the grips of George Hickman is Matt Robo Sayles. Round number 2. Battle raging on here. Phoenix Fighting Championships here in Beirut, Lebanon. Anytime you match up a young gun like 22-year-old Matt Robo Sayles against a guy, 31-year-old George Hickman, who has been up and down the road with some of the best, you know you're going to get a great fight, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. Of course, George Hickman making his home in Thailand right now, teaching for Tiger Muay Thai, but he has been all over the globe. He's been in Bangkok, been in Thailand for quite a while. He's fought for Bangkok Fight Night and Kunlun Fight and a number of big shows, Bellator MMA as well, where he pulled off a big win. So you talk about a guy like George Hickman, the bright lights is nothing for him. Whereas Matt Robo Sayles has made his living fighting out in California, and this is the first real big international show he's ever been a part of, and now he's starting to string together some strikes, landing some great body shots, changing levels. But George Hickman nearly got him to the ground. Matt Sayles, being smart, stayed up. You got that height advantage, but it doesn't look like Hickman's going to look to utilize that jab. We know what Hickman's going to do. That being said, that overhand right, which he just teased and missed, is very powerful. He does have power in his hands. Matt Sayles moving forward, taking control here in round number 2. For the most part, this has been mainly Matt Sayles doing work, but now he's going to get into the grips of George Hickman. It's exactly where he does not want to be, up against that fence where Hickman could possibly change levels on him and turn this thing into another grind-out wrestling war, and that's not what Matt Robo Sayles wants. Even if he doesn't know that, I'm telling him that now. I don't know if he can hear me. Matt Sayles not looking too worried here as he's had a nice round number 2. Possibly evening the odds here. Things can continue to go this way. Outside leg kick lands. You're watching Phoenix FC. 2 warriors battling inside of our cage. Showing a little bit of fatigue is Matt Sayles. And one thing you are not going to see out of George Hickman, and I think that was a big tell right there, as he's got his mouth open, he's trying to catch his breath, is Matt Robo Sayles. George Hickman saw that. If he sees a weakness like that, he's going to attack. Because listen, you come from a wrestling background like George Hickman, stamina is never going to be a problem. Go to one Division I, heck, one high school wrestling practice, and you're going to see conditioning like no other. That being said, Matt Sayles attacking once again with the stand-up. Switch kick to the body. Oh, but a great explosion there by George Hickman. Does Matt Sayles try to drag him down to the ground? Give him a taste of his own medicine. Not going to be easy. You see that jockeying in position there, not even giving Sayles a chance to do any work. As he tries to isolate those legs, Hickman is not going to give that up. I don't see it. Nearly got the takedown, but not enough. Matt Sayles not able to complete that takedown. It is a fight here, a grind-out war here in Beirut, Lebanon. As now you see George Hickman is on his backside. You can't really call that a full takedown, but what you can call it is a very dominant round for Matt Robo Sayles. You know, switching things up and turning the tables on the 31-year-old veteran here on Phoenix FC, just when you think he might be counted out. Wow, what a change of events here. It is a war here in Lebanon as time ticks away. Not much left here in round number 2, and it'll be George Hickman having to go back to the drawing boards. And there it is. Not going to be a stand-up. That is the end of the round. Round number 2 is up. We have one more round to go. Third and final round coming at you in this featherweight clash, our co-main event for the mixed martial arts portion of the card. And what an important third and final round it is going to be. Take a breath and take a look at that beautiful, that very lovely Phoenix FC cage girl, delighting the fans. Fellas, don't put your eyes on her. You'll definitely get distracted from the fight. These guys are in a war. One more round to go, and you got to believe the instructions to Matt Sayles is keep doing what you're doing. If he can have another round like that, I feel like he would take a decision victory if it even goes that far. He is really putting together his strikes way better than he was in round number 1. George Hickman has to go into that stamina, has to go into what he does best, go to the gas tank and try to grind out a victory. Matt Sayles hasn't really shown us that he has great takedown defense, and I feel like if Hickman goes to the ground and shoots for a takedown, which I feel like it's only a matter of time here, if he does, Matt Sayles is going to have a hard time dealing with him. Round number 3, Sayles and Hickman, your co-main event. What a Christmas present we're getting here, an early Christmas present. As these two continue to battle. There goes those combinations once again. Matt Sayles, if he gets inside that range, he can put 3 or 4 strikes together, no problem. Circling, stalking is the 22-year-old phenom. Nearly smelled blood. Quick recovery by George Hickman. George Hickman throwing a big kick out there, just trying to create some space. If you're in the corner of George Hickman, I mean, what do you say to the guy that's the wrestling coach? Obviously, you have MMA coaches that have the full gamut of the game, but George Hickman knows what he has to do. He has to bring this thing down to the ground, and maybe it's just a show of pride trying to stand up with Matt Sayles. Maybe that's what it is. But if he continues to do what he's doing, this is not going to be a good night for George Hickman. Matt Sayles putting him together, another shot to the body. Big left hook. Doesn't quite land. Now Hickman trying to employ a little offense of his own. Can young Matt Sayles beat a veteran like George Hickman and advance his career? Can he go to 6-0? A lot of eyes will be on Matt Sayles if he can go to 6-0, especially in a big-time event, a premier event like Phoenix FC. Hickman trying to create space. The time is ticking down as we're at the halfway point between these two. And Matt Sayles, if he can continue to do what he's doing now, trying to push Hickman up against the fence, maybe trying to ice this round. Here we go again. More striking from Matt Sayles, mixing up the punches and the kicks. Nice roundhouse to the body. Hickman coming out of the Carolinas, place I know very well. A real tough crop of fighters, great pro fighters and pro boxers that have come out of that area, and a growing region. It's produced some really tough guys, and we know what California is all about. George Hickman with that big right hand snaps it out there real quick. Now seems that he's really developing that striking. Now the striking seems to be on point for George Hickman. Giving Sayles a little taste of his medicine. Showing off that gas tank. That being said, here comes Sayles. Big right hand. Matt Sayles seems to be in control here, holding on to the center of the cage. Can he keep the combinations coming? Punches and kicks moving forward. Matt Sayles giving us a little bit of what we saw in round 2 and more. Real fluid striking from the young man from California. Walking right into some jabs from George Hickman, trying to get within that range. Got to take a few to give a few. What a tightly contested fight this one is going to be razor thin. I see Sayles ahead right now. Sayles doing everything he needs to. George Hickman not going away, though, but not giving us any sort of indication that he's going to take this round. There's a big right hand. Hickman nearly landed. That 1-2. Hickman still possibly a little bit more energy in the body of George Hickman. Flying knee just misses from Matt Sayles, looking for the knockout knee. He charges forward. Very, very active is Matt Robo Sayles. Is it going to be enough? And here comes George Hickman trying to pick that ankle. But right up against the fence is Matt Sayles. Great takedown defense for the young man, only 22 years old. Looking like a tried and true veteran in here with Hickman. What's it going to be for the co-main event here at Phoenix FC? 10 seconds left in this one. Who's going to finish strong? Is it going to be George Hickman? Is it going to be Matt Robo Sayles? Time's ticking away, and that is it. A very well-fought fight, but only one man is going to walk out victorious. Who will it be? That one was a tight one. That last round, man, you could almost score that thing a draw. It was that close. And I believe we're working with a must system here, so it's going to have to be a 10-9 round. Means that there was no significant damage from either fighter. Who takes that one? Hickman hung around, but did he do enough to win the round? He takes round 1 rather convincingly. Round 2 seemed to be Matt Sayles' round. And then round 3, you could call up in the air. I would give it to Sayles, but I'm not a judge. They don't pay me for that, only to call the fights. But the crowd was in that one. 2 Americans putting on a heck of a show. As you see Matt Sayles coming over here to talk to George Hickman, to talk to his whole crew there for Tiger Muay Thai. Coaches as well are going to meet in the middle. That show of respect that we love here in mixed martial arts and in all the combat sports. No matter how much you talk before the fight, no matter what happens at weigh-ins or what happens before the fight, once the fight is over, you got that show of respect. And that is the beautiful thing about the martial arts and the beautiful thing about MMA. And now we just wait on the judges' scorecard and see who takes this victory. A big fight for both men. Hickman's been here before. He's been under bright lights. Maybe not as bright as this. But Matt Sayles, this is the biggest one of his career.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision in favor of your winner from the USA, George Hickman.
And it's George Hickman, the veteran, taking home the victory. And wow, that one was close, but you can't really go wrong with either fighter. They both gave everything. I think it was the third round that was super tight. They could have gone either way. It looked like Sayles landed more, but Hickman, he hung in there with those big right hands, continued to punish. He's going to take a few pictures. He's going to celebrate tonight. Tough night for Matt Robo Sayles, but that's how the cards will fall. And there it is, your co-main event of Phoenix FC. We got more to come from Beirut, Lebanon.